blessed Monday morning it is, man. I'm fired up like something.
Certainly.
Yes.
You had a restful weekend, didn't you?
No, it was restful, but yesterday was time of praise. It was super.
Right.
A church?
Yes.
Right,
So
yes.
You were churches
The program they came to advertise.
And it was lovely. I mean, the hymns, and you a hymns person too.
Yes,
So
I am,
it was
certainly.
fantastic, and it made a weekend. For
So what did someone center on?
Say again.
The sermon, what did it center
Well,
on?
time of praise
there
is
wasn't
about
much.
praise.
All right, then.
So we are not begging for anything from
Right.
God. We're just
Just
praising
giving
God,
thanks.
for all that He's done.
Certainly,
And-
that's important
yeah.
because, I mean, the last word I heard before we, jumped into 2018 was the fact that we're always asking, but it was time we looked at thanking God. It's enough with the asking. Just for the month of January, at least if you took your time to say thank you to your father out there. It's just like when you have an earthly father and he's always giving you, it gets to a point where it's okay to say, Daddy, hold on, let me just thank you for all the good things you've done throughout, and then start afresh with him. So it's certainly a good time for you to give thanks to your Father in heaven for making you live to see this day. The fact that you can see, you can hear, you can talk, and you can move your legs means that you are alive, and God certainly has a plan for you. So whatever you went through the weekend, whether good, whether bad, whether ugly, just know that everything will be well. Stop dancing like I'm
Count
saying
your
that.
blessings, name them one by
one.
one. So it's another day, another challenge awaits us, and so don't forget to wear your greatest gear, that is prayer. The day before the blessings.
Absolutely.
And lots of love.
And let's say thank you to NewDay, No VC, to Reverend Ebenezer Clotte, to Kingdom Ministers International, the Angelic Voices, for making sure that this was super. Yesterday, El Ankra was there, the good old El Ankra. Yeah, he was there.
The GBC guy?
Yeah, Mr. GBC was there. So.
But in as much as our weekend was good, we're also rocked by bad news. I mean, armed robbers escaping, killing cops. I don't know.
Sunday I got
the
the news at 2:30 something, maybe 3-ish, that this is what has happened.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so I challenged the guys. Are you sure? Somebody goes into a police station.
Yeah.
Then somebody tells me on Sunday morning that it's not the first time it's happening at that particular police station. So then I start wondering, do I take the IGP's word that Ghana is safe?
Exactly.
We're safe.
And Kwabena is deserted, it's very deserted.
Exactly.
And
do I, but then another policeman also told me on the sidelines that, look, for most of our police people who are the, who sit behind the counter in the buildings, there's supposed to be more than one. But oftentimes they run shifts, so one goes to sleep and one keeps, but whatever it is not proper, it is not right. Our men in uniform must be very protected. Right. And look, if they are being attacked and they don't feel protected, who am I?
Ordinary citizen.
Who am I?
Anyway.
Who am I? And look, the IGP has said we are safe. I don't think we are safe.
I don't think so.
I don't think I am safe.
At all.
I don't feel safe.
I don't.
Trust me, I don't feel
safe. People who carry ammunition.
Exactly, being let out on the street. I mean, we're all scared that there are armed robbers, so many armed robbers out there anyway, but then they clamp down on them, arrest them, and yet they're free. They're able to free themselves. So when they come to your house, I'm sure they will come with more force than they went in for, because now they know if they are caught, they probably are never coming out. So it's not safe. It's not the way we want to go currently. This is not what the news want to wake up to hear. But anyway, there's more with news.
The deepest condolence to the family of the bereaved. The deepest condolence to them. Our hearts and prayers are with you, around this trying time. And I hope that we find a lasting solution to this, because I don't feel safe, apart from God's cover over me. Exactly. But if I have to depend on the police,
it's been God since day one, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been God since day one. Exactly. Yeah, that's why we praise God. Yes, that's why.
So guys, do you have any name in mind for maybe your unborn child?
What kind of?
I'm taking guys to the western side. Kanye West and Kim Kardashian.
Yeah,
Chicago West. Yeah,
I know. I thought.
Oh, that's what they were going to. They're going to do.
That's the name of their child.
They have a music name. I wasn't surprised because they
Saint
always
West, Northwest.
I'm trying to see Flacunsin Hughes.
Oh really?
Flacunsin.
That sounds like a drug. Like something where man. No, Johnny, that won't pass. That child will hate you for life.
You want the child to be, you know, active and to always answer questions from people.
No, so that name, when they start flap, you say, please, I'm here. You even let them land. You just receive your name immediately. Flap, yes, sir.
You know, I asked my dad once why he gave me Paris for. He says, well, I want you to be answering questions from people. People should ask you, what does your name mean? Where did you get it from? Yeah. So you keep talking. Then you are rehearsing in life. And so it's helped me. So
that was a cheer.
Yeah, so just Flacunson. Flacunson Hughes.
I think the mother won't forgive you for that. It's not a name you want. It just sounds like a drug.
So is that Flacunson Rothschild Hughes?
1 in the morning, 2 in the evening.
The Rothschild sounds like a dog name. I beg you, please forgive this chap. Whatever sins they've done, forgive them.
Everyone Hughes will not be happy with you. I tell you what, he will not be happy. But
George, I think that's his name. I know I've seen it before.
George has news, of course, and he is taking us down now.
So it's time for some news here on NewDay. Thanks for staying on to our very first story. The Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Aaron Mike Okwei, has been sworn in as acting President of Ghana following the absence of both President Akufo-Addo and Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. President Nana Akufo-Addo left Ghana yesterday afternoon to Liberia to attend the swearing-in ceremony of Liberian President George Oponwia, whilst the Vice President is currently seeking medical care in the United Kingdom.
Article 60 of the 1992 Constitution says, while the President and the Vice President are both unable to perform the functions of the President, the Speaker of Parliament shall perform those functions until the President or the Vice President is able to perform those functions or a new President assumes office, as the case may be. The Speaker, Aaron Mike Okwei, before his swearing in, read a statement on the President's departure to Liberia.
In accordance with Article 59 of the Constitution, I write to inform you that I will be traveling outside the country on 21st January 2018 to Monrovia, Liberia, at the invitation of His Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
The first Deputy Speaker, Joseph Osei Owusu, then took the speakership seat to enable the Speaker, Mike Okwei, take the presidential oath, which was administered by the Chief Justice, Sophia Akufo.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will be faithful and true.
That I will be faithful and true.
To the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana.
Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu argued absence from the country is not the same as not being able to perform his functions as president. Boko Central Member of Parliament Mahama Ayarga addressed the press on the issue.
So it is unnecessary to be swearing in the Speaker to act as president during the period when he is actually carrying out the functions of a president, sitting in Liberia, leading a Ghanaian delegation in Liberia. So that is the issue that we are raising, that we should review this practice where a president is actually carrying out the function of a president elsewhere, and then we bring in a speaker to act as a president.
Mr. Speaker, I raised this matter some 3 years ago. I was Mr. Speaker, the deputy went to say that at that time I belonged to another side of the house. So it appears when I raised it, it didn't matter at the time. Today it should matter.
Aaron Mike Okwei is expected to hold the position for the next 24 hours. The swearing-in of Liberian President-elect is expected to take place on Monday.
On to a rather sad development, the police have launched a manhunt for 7 suspects who escaped the Kwabena police station in the early hours of Sunday, January 21. The 7, including 1 Nigerian, escaped when someone identified armed men attacked the station and shot a supervising inspector.
The 7 escapees are 34-year-old Nigerian Chibuza Akwabu, Edem Roxon 32, Prince Ose 27, Dixon Ofori 24, Emmanuel Kote 21, Kofi Dakon 21, and Atakojo 20, all Ghanaians. The 7 were part of 13 inmates of the Kwabenya Tommy Hills police station at the time the armed gang stormed the station. The incident occurred in the wee hours of Sunday, January 21. The armed gang, whose number and identity are yet to be known, reportedly attacked the Kwabenya Tommy Hills police station. They shot a supervising inspector who had just arrived at the station on duty tour of the area at close range. The armed gang reportedly opened the cell and freed 7 of the 13 inmates on detention for varying offenses and fled the scene. The inspector was reportedly rushed to the 37 military hospital where he passed on whilst receiving treatment.
The situation is under control and we are doing everything that we can to bring the perpetrators to book, to get them arrested. So for now, we have to assure the people of public that we are doing everything humanly possible to get these suspects arrested and also give the general public the needed security.
This comes just a few days after armed herdsmen ambushed a police military team tasked to enforce a court order against nomadic herdsmen in Asante Achimagogo. So what might be emboldened criminal elements to mount direct attacks on state-assigned security agents?
Meanwhile, some security experts have reiterated calls on the state to adequately resource the police to deliver its mandate. The experts were reacting to the killing of a police inspector at the Kwabenya police station on Sunday. And here's a report by my colleague Peter Kwao Adato.
The Kwabenya police station is located on the Atomic Dome Road near the School of Nuclear and Allied Science, University of Ghana. It therefore came as a surprise that a gang of armed men could attack and shot an officer, free inmates, and fled without any clue to who the perpetrators are. A close look around suggested a number of shots were fired through the charge office. It was unclear how the criminals executed the crime. So does this call for the security of the police stations?
There is always lessons learned from issues that has happened. We have standard security measures in all police stations. This is one of the few cases that we have witnessed, and we have to review our security situation and see how this can be strengthened.
Security experts Adam Bona and Emmanuel Koten are of the view there's the need for a paradigm shift to policing.
It's a wake-up call for us that we need to provide security, like the bulletproof vest. You see our MTCO on the way, they don't even have reflectors and stuff like that. So the state is failing them.
If they had the surveillance systems in place, at least it would have shown us how these people organize themselves to break into the place to free these people. So that even if in the unlikely situation where we don't arrest them, we still will know how they planned it, so we can put in measures to stop another situation like that.
For a senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, Dr. Seydou Alido, handling of information in the media should be checked as it compromises the security of the state.
I think it's not a very good way to go about investigating crime, because sometimes, in most cases, the whole element of confidence and secrecy can help a lot in investigation and also arresting the culprits. But even what should have been put out there were the culprits, those who had committed the crime, so that people will be on the lookout for them and can inform the police when they get them. But you don't rather put the victim of these particular circumstances into the picture when probably mostly his parents or his relatives or his spouse and children are not even informed officially about what is going on. You know, that is not a good sign of respect for people who sacrifice their lives to protect this country.
This is about the 4th police officer who have so far died in line of duty in the first month of 2018, bringing to bear the need to fortify the police to protect society.
Away from security, let's shift to the floor of Parliament, where some minority members of Parliament have criticised the office of the President for how it communicated the departure of the Vice President to the United Kingdom for medical attention. They asked the Presidency to properly inform Ghanaians on such important issues.
The presidency had promised to be forthcoming with medical information after it broke the news about Vice President Dr. Bawumia's medical status last Friday. An earlier statement on social media pointing to the UK trip was described as fake. The Communications Director, Eugene Ahin, had said an authentic statement would soon be released. The Chief of Staff's statement, released Saturday morning, was signed Friday, January 19, 2018. This raised concerns about whether the Vice President left the country last Friday or whether the date was an error. Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu raised it on the floor of Parliament Sunday.
We can only wish His Excellency the Vice President well. Allah wa ta'ala should grace him with his grace to come back to the office. Mr. Speaker, we are not happy with government communicators at the office of the presidency.
Other MPs agreed the presidency could have done better with its communication on such critical issues.
Communication lapse in all that. It is normal for a vice president to go for a checkup or to be flown out or to go to hospital. To me, you don't need to announce that until it is so critical.
But some MPs on the majority side disagreed.
I have no iota of doubt that the communication that emanated out of the Flagstaff House had been tainted or was not done properly.
For others, this brings to bear the challenges with specialist doctors and equipment in Ghanaian hospitals.
There's no doubt when you go to Ridge, when you go to Legon Hospital, when you go to Kolebu and Tamale Teaching Hospitals, we do have facilities and the level of expertise that can take care of almost what we all suffer from. So some of us were taken aback that the kind of ailment he's suffered was so serious that could not be treated in this country.
But a Deputy Health Minister, Kingsley Abwaje Jedu, disagrees.
We had Ghanaian doctors looking after him on the Thursday and Friday, but they, upon their advice, that he had to seek a medical care outside the country.
Away from the Greater Accra region, let's move to the Ashanti region, where about 15 shops and 10 vehicles have been destroyed by fire at Swami Magazine in Kumasi Saturday night. Property worth thousands of Ghana cedis were set ablaze. A report by Benjamin Edu.
The fire started at about 9 p.m. Saturday. About 15 spare parts shops within the Swami Magazine enclave were gutted. Other items which were destroyed in the inferno included vehicles, spare parts, engine lubricants, corn mills and undisclosed sums of money. The fire was reported to have started in a mechanic shop and spread to other shops. Some affected persons were seen scavenging the debris Sunday morning. Abdul Nazir is a spare parts dealer in the area.
At our section, spare parts worth almost 300,000 cedis got destroyed in the inferno.
Getting to Old Kensberg 3 billion.
The assemblyman for Tafun Shaheso electoral area, Alhaji Muhammad Gambo, said the fire caused extensive damage before personnel or the fire service arrived. But speaking in a telephone interview, Deputy Chief Fire Officer in charge of the Ashanti region, Sameko Kweku Fiajo, said the timely intervention of their personnel averted the fire from spreading to other shops and vehicles.
Away from the shores of Ghana, let's move to Liberia because it's a big day for that country. President Akufo-Addo is in Liberia to attend the inauguration ceremony of President-elect of the Republic of Liberia, George Weah, which is scheduled to take place today in Monrovia. The president was accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Shirley Ayoko-Botwe, Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta, Minister for National Security Albert Kandapa, and government officials. The Speaker of Parliament, Aaron Mike Okwe, in accordance with Article 60, Clause 11 of the Constitution, has been sworn in as acting president, as Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is also on medical leave in the UK. President Akufo-Addo will return to Ghana on Tuesday, January 23, 2018. And away from Liberia, some members of parliament have extended solidarity messages to the people of Liberia, wishing the country well as it prepares to swear in a new government and parliament on Monday.
I want to thank the whole of the Liberians for their cooperation in that peaceful election in the second round. And I wish them well, just as they have made it peaceful. I know the new president coming will take over, and the peace we are looking for in the sub-region should continue. So the parliamentarians, we wish them all the best. They should understand the needs and where they stand to work accordingly.
The Liberians have suffered a lot, and so far the president who is leaving office tomorrow has done well to bring them to constitutional rule. And for the first time, one party has won elections and there is a change. And this change is not by violence. So we can only wish them that they should develop this constitutional way of changing government and then also be patient, because to get the structures of democracy well established like parliament, it requires learning. Fortunately for them, they can always learn the best practices from the neighbors.
We are only praying that the whole Liberia will stand behind the democratically elected new president, and everybody must be on board. Not only Liberians, Africans have a common interest, common destiny. Whilst I called for support from his own countrymen and women, I even called for greater support from African leaders and indeed all Africans.
We want to applaud them for their peaceful election, and our prayer is that they consolidate democracy the way we have done. This is going to be their first change of government from one elected regime to another, and therefore it augurs very well for Liberia. At least they've been able to navigate this hurdle. Our prayer is that they should learn lessons from the neighborhood. They should build a national consensus on the key developmental issues that affect Liberia.
Liberia, for once, have demonstrated that democracy should be the order of the day, and that is proper. I wish them well. It is my fervent prayer that with this new government, they will continue to prosper as people.
And now to international relations, where China's acting ambassador to Ghana says China will continue to award educational scholarship packages to Ghanaians, but cautions students against overstaying after their studies. Speaking at the first annual general meeting of the China-Ghana Graduate Association, he hinted the laws are structured to take care of those who fail to return to their home countries after graduating.
Over the years, China has offered most Ghanaians scholarships to study in different disciplines in China. In 2016, 1,200 Ghanaians were offered scholarships. The number was by far the largest. As a way of strengthening Ghana-China relations, China's acting ambassador to Ghana, Councillor Jayin Zuateng, assured China will continue to improve on the human resource capacities of Ghanaians. Speaking at the first general meeting of China-Ghana Graduates Association, Councillor Jayin Zuateng cautioned against graduates refusing to return to their home countries to serve.
We are encouraging very much those students who are studying in China to come back to Ghana to serve the country, to work for the country. I think if they, overstay or stay without any allowance or permit, I think they will be faced with the regulation enforcement.
He also assured China will expand its industrialization agenda to Ghana and Africa in general to absorb persons with the requisite skills.
Under the framework of the FOCAC, we have discussed on the issue of industrial capacity cooperation, which is about to help the African countries, including Ghana, to speed up its industrialization and efforts.
President of the China-Ghana Graduates Association, Charles Esmond Mawenyaga, noted beneficiaries had acquired a lot and will impact positively on Ghana's development.
Our main aim is to come together and volunteer to society. So be it cultural, or economic or training. We have some graduates who have come and are working.
I will be happy to see a lot more young Ghanaians taking courses in the sciences, in mathematics, in agriculture.
Currently, 5,516 Ghanaians are studying in different fields in China.
So let's do newspaper headlines now. We'll start off with the finder. It says 2 cops killed, 7 suspects freed at Kwabenya police station. And there's an insert of the cops who have been killed. Also, First Lady commits to help improve the health sector. Also, masked armed thugs terrorize residents of Koforidua. Then Ave Maria also begs GPHA to extend the demolition date. And then finally, GRA records 22.3% revenue growth in 2017. John, let's start with some good news because, of course, health sector, I've told you, I'll always be biased. I'm happy that the Mothers and Babies Unit at Konfanoche, which for like 42 years hasn't been touched. It was constructed, nobody cared, nobody bothered to look at it again. But finally, we have had some social media uproar. We've spoken about it. I would actually like to talk about one person who I think has been forgotten in all this you know, the thanks going out. There was one Dr. Richard Salome. I don't know if you heard about him, but I, for one, because I'm in the health sector, I know he championed this cause so much. But of course, when it comes to you championing a cause, sometimes you're often forgotten. But I like to talk about him as an unsung hero because, Johnny, the uproar he created or the help that he kept making noise about for the Mothers and Babies Unit, and for him, he is not even a pediatrician. You know, he's a maxillofacial dentist. And so for him to come from that side, he's maxillofacial. He's, I mean, he deals more with dental issues than even mothers and babies. So for him to be so concerned and even front it, I was so proud of him. And I would say kudos to him for even championing this cause. But of course, now mothers and babies can go into Konfanoche knowing that they have a comfortable place to stay and they'll come out healthier than we used to have as it was in the condition because they didn't have this big place, this big facility. So we are happy about that. Kudos to the whole team.
I am happy also that the First Lady, you know, took up this initiative.
Exactly.
But I'm even more excited that there was accountability in the process. Somebody showed me figures of how much has been raised and how much has been expended and what is left. You know, some 9,000 or so. And I was so excited about it that we're able to account for things like that. I also believe that on the back of the fact that the First Lady represents, you know, the epitome of womanhood, and she's been able to do this. It's a thumbs up for them. What I don't get is how other facilities that are also health related that will be beneficial to the people have been left. For example, the University of Ghana Medical Center, whatever it is, what's happening to it? It's a pull and push, and people have health needs. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Should I say good morning to the First Lady? Good morning, madam, please. From Kumasi, let's go to Legon. Let's see what we can do because the people need assistance. Good morning to you.
But also the cops, well, 2 cops have been killed. That story, we must say, there are 2 different stories. There's one cop who was killed at the Kwabenya police station. There's another who was run over by a truck, apparently. But then, Johnny, you know, the safety of well, let's talk about the police system in general, whether the way we arrest people, the way we put them behind bars, the supervision even after they're behind bars, whether it's adequate. Because for me, this is, it's scary when the main force law enforcement agency can be breached as such. Then Johnny, you and I mean, we're very, we're not safe at all because if the people who wield guns, who wield all the authority and power, as it were, to protect themselves, cannot defend themselves when people they are keeping under lock and key break out and, you know, they are shot, there's this whole rampage and they are let loose, then I don't know what our system, our law enforcement system is coming to. Then again, I would like to look at the structures. I haven't been to Kwabenya before, but I want to know what the system, what the place looks like. Is it that the metals that they're behind bars is rickety, it's not strong enough to hold them? Is it that the doors are all dilapidated? What really is the situation there? And then it spreads across. I don't think this happens only in Kwabenya. I'm sure there are other places where probably haven't made headlines. But if that's the situation, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to wait for more robbers to escape before we talk about it? Johnny, you're going to show us a picture of the armed robbers, aren't you?
I'm going to show you a picture of the armed robbers, but before that, you know, if you're you frequent American movies or you like watching American movies, you can tell when somebody is arrested. Right. This is how, you know, the photos are taken.
There's a mark
First,
shot.
we check the mark shot. We check the height. We take a side profile, so then we can even get somebody to sketch if we don't have. We're not too sure of it. Right. And then we can. The person holds a placard that says he was arrested at the Kaneshi police station or Kwabenya, wherever it is.
With a number. There's a code.
There's a number and everything. So the records are properly taken. And then we're able to track fingerprints and everything. So your biometrics are taken. Even the color of your eye, your hair, and everything else is taken into consideration. Now, here in Ghana, what we do, take a look at all these photos. Take out these photos. This one, Chibuzo, looks like he's on a hospital bed.
He is.
Okay.
The full picture.
This one looks like he's counterback. He's behind a counter with a safe behind him. This one is by a door, a wooden door. This one, I don't know. Look at the photos. So we don't know, number one, the height of the people. We don't know how they look like if we meet them in person. They may look like other people. And so asking the people to, the citizenry to stop people in public and accost them, or if we have information, we may be leading you on a wild goose chase. So that's clearly is not professional. This is not professional. I feel sad about the situation, but taking photos like this is not professional. What happened to the mark shot? I thought that we were told that we have professional police and all of that. And I don't doubt their competence. Right. But perhaps we may have to start thinking about these things. And you know, to the extent that we now have a biometric system in a lot of places, and we're trying to make it, you know, national in nature. Yeah. We should start thinking along these lines. I feel very sad because now it's going to be a tough call to get these people. To find them, yeah. It's going to be a tough call. And yes, the police will tell you, let's have the citizenry support us and everything else. But clearly, I'm not so excited because the examples are there. This is what is done elsewhere. And it's worked for them. If you steal, if you commit a crime and you are caught, this is how the photos are taken. Not when you're on your hospital bed, you are behind the counter or whatever it is. This is how the photo is supposed to be taken. Yeah. So let's see a change in the way we do things. IGP, Mr. David Asantea Pietu, good morning to you. And let's see a change in the way that things are done. Not like this. And in any case, if you meet any of these people or you have a tip of 18555, that's the line to call. It's toll free 18555. Let the police know where these people are. Chibus or Prince or say Atakojo, Edem Roxon, Kofi Daku, and Dixon Ofori.
But Johnny, the flip side to this whole conversation we're having of the one you showed where it's done in the foreign countries, you know, for Ghana, I've always said, or I've come to realize that we don't take particular attention of detail. And so even if we came to the system where the police took the correct mark shots and they said he's 6'7", you know, he has brown hair, he was wearing whatever. We can't even decide. There are quite a few. I can't say all of us, but the majority of us will not be able to appreciate what we're talking about when it comes to these things. Most people are walking about. They don't know their height. They don't know their hair color. You ask, and they're now trying to, you know, look around. But these are things that right from get-go, it should be inculcated in our educational system, so that every child out there understands when you say I'm 5'2", or you know I'm 1.52 meters. They know what we're talking about when you say the eye color. Then we'll all be looking out for these qualities as anyone comes. Because immediately for an American child, when they look at you in like a snapshot, they have a picture of you in their mind. A mental picture. Yeah. So they can. That's why the police can go to a young child and sketch and say, does he look like this? And says, yeah, you can add, you know, he has a mustache or whatever. But we don't seem to look at these details. So maybe that should be where we start. I am also looking at the age ranges of the people involved. Yeah. Very young people. The eldest among them is about 32 or so. 34. That would be, yeah, the Nigerian. The Chibuzo. Yes. 34. And so if you look from 20 all the way to 34, there's a problem. Yeah. Problem of unemployment, or problem of unwillingness to work, or problem of people wanting quick cash, or problem of people, you know, have not been brought up properly. Exactly. Wayward, you know, lifestyle.
And it's a national issue. Social protection, Minister for Interior, employment and labor relations, special initiatives. I've always said we don't lack the people. We have the men, we have the offices, we have policy, we have laws. What is happening to implementation? Because this is alarming. And you see, if there's another story on the front page of the Finder newspaper, page 16, talks about Kufuridia, armed robbers attacking people. Check the ages. It's the same thing, the same age range, same under 40, between 20 and 40, same age range. What is the problem? What is the problem? I've heard people say it's a national security issue. I agree that I don't feel safe, even though the IGP has said over and over again that we are safe. I don't feel safe, because if this is happening around us, and you see, the point is that you may not want to, and I made the analogy every time that, look, you are taking your children to a Montessori school, giving them the best of care, but I am not able to take my children to a Montessori school. So they are in Saito school. Then they get sacked for school fees. They get frustrated. They can't further their education. They stop along the line. What happens to them? So your children will go and become doctors, lawyers, journalists, whatever it is. They earn their money, they are with their decent family. And this man who couldn't further his education, who had no hope, will pick up a small jackknife and come and take off everything you have. So what have you been able to do?
Nothing.
We should start thinking about some of these things. So we should start really thinking about some of these things, because it's becoming alarming.
It is.
One incident, not a week without, look, check the headlines from last week, the week before. Not a single week goes without issues of armed robbery or somebody attacking. Why? Why?
It doesn't speak well of our
economy. It doesn't at all. It doesn't at all. And I'm told that now around Mishalka, what happens is that people have shotguns. They just walk into a shop and they want to buy something, so they give you money while you are getting into your cash box to want to bring them. Then they just put a gun on you, collect your money, and then flee with a motorbike. So people are becoming increasingly lawless, and we must be able to deal with them. Increasingly lawless.
I think it's born out of greed. You know, the desire for people to make money quick and easy ways. But I don't know what our country is getting to, because Johnny, before, I remember, at least when we were younger, we knew there was armed robbery. We had heard of the Atais, but those were a bit on the big scale. You know, they're attacking either big institutions, offices, not to individuals, like you're saying, shop owners and the petty trader out there. But now it seems to be the order of the day. Anywhere you pass, there could be an armed robbery attack. And I don't know, we're not
These are petty thieves, in my opinion, who have access to guns. And we've been talking about, remember when Mr. Hackman Uswajiman was Minister for Interior, so we've been talking about the proliferation of small arms back then, how to cut down on it. So 2001, all the way, 16 years, and we don't seem to have won the fight. And then we'll gather guns somewhere, we'll burn it, and then make a show of it.
And yet there are even more experts and analysts.
Exactly.
So you're wondering, is that when they talk, we don't know what to do, or we just feel we don't need to do anything? Because we've spoken about it a lot.
To the extent that we can have people who are not supposed to be trained, have guns and even have the courage to exchange fire with the police or the military, it's worrying. It's worrying. We're sitting on a time bomb if we're not ready. It's worrying.
But can we also look at a side where we talk about the police themselves investigating within their departments because any rots? Because we've heard oftentimes, I keep saying there's no smoke without fire, or there's no fire without smoke, rather. It seems like they have a hand in it, some way, somehow. They know these perpetrators, and they may be the ones supplying them either the arms, or they're giving them patrol, they're giving them escort, they're giving them transportation. They play a role one way or another. So maybe it's time the police themselves clean up their own mess. They start investigating internally to see such bad nuts and, you know, get rid of them before it spreads throughout the entire system and comes to bite all of us in the backside.
I have never been in support of the issue where a policeman or a military man, whichever it is, commits a certain crime or falters before the law, and we are told, oh, they will handle it on their side. And then you don't get anything. We'll tell you, oh, the person has been sanctioned or punished, and then that's it. If you and I commit a certain crime or fall foul of the law, what happens to us? Does it mean that the uniform is a shield for them not to be dealt with in the appropriate way? I mean, policemen beat people all the time, they maltreat people. That's assault, that's battery. Why can't they be put before there? I mean, so people start losing confidence in the system. There's the PIPs, professional bureau that's supposed to be investigating some of these things, and people have had their own set of challenges with PIPs. When you go and report, you know, sometimes the people in there will tell you all manner of things, and you lose hope and you lose your vim, and then you go. If we want the systems to work, because we know, I saw in Kenya over the weekend how police MTTD officials who had been extorting money on the streets from people, a task force was set up for them, and they were all picked up. So embarrassing. They were embarrassed, shamed, picked up. I'm sure they'll find their way behind the bars or be in jail. Why can't we do same? Why can't we do same? We're joking with the work and we're making it look as if we are working. We are not working. We are not working, really. We are not working. And you see, up north, we had civilians who had guns, who had the audacity to fire at a police vehicle. In Kumasi, it happened. In Accra, it's happening. We don't know when next it will happen. But for them to even have the audacity to shoot, that's an attack on the state, on the president. Because when you wear the coat of arms or you wear the emblem or insignia of the police or any other, you know, it represents all of us. So for anybody to have the courage to do that, that's not to even have the courage to go into a police station. Come on. Please.
Anyway, Johnny, we're ranting.
I don't feel like ranting.
Well, the special prosecutor, Mr. Martin Amidu, has been named, but does that name put the fear of God in public officials? Let's see what you have to say as we rant.
This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
A very good morning, and today on Daily Ranch, we are revisiting the Special Prosecutor's Office. A latest development is that President Akufo-Addo says the Special Prosecutor will put the fear of God in public officials who intend to walk the path of corruption, and even will the office end corruption in entirety. This is Daily Ranch. Let's keep talking.
On my way, and never be you're brushing aside always, especially corruption issues. We don't give it a closer look, but I think it's about time every year. Now, involved in corruption, being it politician, public servants, anybody at all, no, has to be brought to book. That's all. And to buy our band of Ebwa. Another way out there, maybe about so why man. Any amount for you now, or can be breeze.
Young boys, some man says, while we need trophy, and I say, then why young boys, some man. Mentia, what's young boys?
At least, yeah, fighting corruption. Okay, yeah, fighting corruption. And now, at least, yeah, set the Special Prosecutor's Office, into at least, or seen another ayade.
What kind of sir will be set to office? I bet dealing with the corruption, fine. Miss Metimaka say, why, yeah, dear say, was set it. Will be a or Baba Baby so ama why be a phone. But okay, baby. Me say, now me TV name no I say, Martin Amidu put fear of them. Ade Duncan William no money say Karim ya no money I no mono fear of God only or Mantima Yano asoro damo. I sound me bisa.
Say be a okoye a obesru nti obesru.
Dey na Martin Amidu what the baba what the two nimpa na koma mo ya prophet and amantiasia. Say you Madam
Okoya de onim so teacher be hwe wa so obesru ana.
Anti first na teacher ni ho. O man pani na ya to abama no his excellency. Nana Akufo-Addo no yansoro wono. Martin Amidu na ebesuro. Ade nti mementi ase ya ne awamo kan no. Wan mbo adwuma na ase yembo nsama na na do say what the fear of God baba betu animpa na akoma. By which way? Ade then obey. Duncan William no ma omo kwa asore tenti wo enimu ne ade no mantima ya bibia amfa ntu animpa na akoma mo. Bible antima huna nempa. Quran antima huna nempa. Martin Amidu ya na obaba huna nempa. Na nempa ja sikadie. Ene yambo nsama pastors na yanjai esikasa ya. Say fear of God na sa office di be juma. Enkosiaga.
Anya na do no be hwe corruption issues atan hwe oman no amemu ni bibia so. Enti so hwe obi obese adwuma enti no de na ba. Enti bo ba na ebeboa ye nyina.
Tie, he should be know before you appoint somebody. You should be able to tell or you know on his capacity or her capacity. This is what the man or the woman will do. Don't come and...
You know his credentials. You don't know his...
Should you tell us fear of God? If you want to say fear of God, then they should allow the, what do you call, the pastors and then the imams to deal with it. Don't come and tell us. We are talking about the laws.
Fear of God as a more kind of moral issues on the moral grounds. That's it. And you say prosecution issues and I say, obi be boni obeye enfa ho ne se okwa asori ana so okwa mosque na okwa baby what you say but you can say ono no obe ohwe from moral ground say ye nyina eti ho esi esuro nyame ye bibia bia se ma enua ho enso adwenye ka ho
but adamu so point o I see Amidu no so nyame he's not God
no one can say nyame o see fear of God one can say fear Amidu o see fear of God nipa yi na e o wiase na esi esuro nyame ti ase obi e se obi esuro nyame
bisa say ya ka nyame amatu Amidu na nyame Timu posa and then we are gonna sika. Me a government appointee. Then Matiami do buy me.
Because we ampa. What do you say? But we are what you say. I hear so nyame suro ntu what do you say? Oh nyame suro mo fear of God na unwia kra na Matiami do abehwehwe.
Matiami do no Bible na o som no ana say ni mimdie wo Bible mo no say.
A Muslim. Of course.
It's a book asam na yeka no. Ana say Quran na Matiamidu nimpa ye wo shake ni mo ha Matiamidu Quran ye hwia wanim nyame nsam o Bible mo ana say Quran mo no wan bai we bia. Say law na say wanim obaba ba ye law ama wa che ne o mu wi sika na fine but say moral ground no would ba ka say obi obaba put fear of identity na obi na koma mo a yam fa madan kan William ne ade
yeah, tell say Duncan Williams or your Penya or no ochire yen say e believe rights and righteous life so say but no ochire wa sorry dem you also wa said there that so say be ne ye what do you say oh ni wachi ma odwuma ho be hwe ne awoye what do you say ono ne wa ye na said there so be kire say som nyame yi de nokre what do you say but nipa ye wo hoyi we are naturally o ma ye ni brade what do you say nti say won so nyo bia hwe ho so a usuro nyame a se ne na do kana irrespective of the fact that action chapel don't have from so be only individual and what responsibility to do right things.
Nothing gonna hang na ama what the fear say no be no pesa me hu fear of fire what the best and na come obe preach.
Okay, but me sorry only say Nanado are appointing him as special prosecutor no nkofo we be Lord Nanado decision but one person like not yet better about it was Kofi Adams organizer of NDC or see Martin Amidu is a better person into obey witch hunting, more of witch hunting of past previous appointees. And I'm going to say some way be.
Master Mamimbi Sao answer and answer and ask him a comment on that issue. No, Mamimbi Sao. Say Nanado Kase Martin Amidu. Let's revisit that one first. Say Obaba put fear of God. What be anya we yesika at the 10 years ago. And I say bra office. Ya create office ama say bra na ba hwehwe na gi yesika na say che nempa maye. Into aba fear of God no we be debatu animpa na akoma mu na ne ya we sika last 10 years ago no na we di sika na sa.
But wait it's more current or say wa who intend to say we den obeye corrupt.
No ma ya da no e. Okay. Me bisa me say anya choose and pick na ye yo. We be anya di sika since last year. We be adi 10 years ago ma say yedin. Inti say Matiamidu baba no a preach wadan Duncan William e shekari
one ka na do ankasa wo
one ka say wase wa ba wa the fear of I say ne oba wi e wo chena ne nda na wanjai na ne ona wi dada no e me bisa mo
no wi dada no so obeteki
usum na e de ono odi sika bebre ya na ase den if fear of God e beti ma prevent ne oba ye no wo chena no fear of God and fear of busum na e de ne wa wi last year baba na
yeah, we are the dada no ono so na sem so be delivered what do you say oba be hwe obia issue on ma say if you ne ko na wa be hwe corruption asemaka or hwe past ones as well as current ones be happen what do you say nti obia ne no be chi no ye atwam so be hwe ma hwe se boni wo ma ye be chi no what do you say se boni ni ma be ko Adam my force baba yes say unya kwa so why and yes all about so baba
Adam the thing is are you okay with the office are you okay with the office
this very office how special is that office to the Attorney General we know. What is it? That question I will continue to ask.
How special? One, Attorney General, he advised government on every issue. prosecution, special prosecutor, specific issues of corruption, not on contracts and all that. Attorney General or advice on every other thing. We know specific ones. His mandate is specific to ensure say corrupt issues are handled and handled properly. The attention will be more on corrupt issues than on any other thing. And so that's the difference. Yeah.
Me jidi sa ebi amo minimum ages. Me mo bia na mu nyini ya. Ya fra obi mu sama town council for. E say wo hu o. Identity ya yi free constitution mu say ono so sa act no ya de call parliament ama ya pass. E da him bi sa na do say sa sama for act no o wa. Who watches the watchman? Enya Matiamidu office kaka fabra kokoti wase court en kan samo radio suni TV so sense na ya kanu na betu corruption na sio ne oba check obi no nti Matiamidu wa chene mpa de kon korom wa hu se obi adi sika na wa cheno a no onu nko Matiamidu no obekọ kaja bi me frika kaja bi o obekọ tamale obekọ walga obekọ anwologa obekọ sotuo Matiamidu nko anu no wonu because wonu na ya jitum say fear of God no wade baba anase obo sub offices me bisa. So you empower them. Sign and our mampeni no our field. So betimi a resource sa office no. I empower them. Interfere of God no kwa na Matiamidu better na office ayo magic. Me mentiase me chiro. Sika sayo is duplication of duties. I will be banya.
Adam, do you want us to fight corruption? Do you want us to fight corruption?
Yes.
So let's launch this initiative.
Which one? So Attorney General is not power. Why then? I mean, if he cannot deal with the issues, then we are not on top.
Attorney General, like I said, no handle so many businesses, so there's for the government. No business Matiamidu, on Obeko KJB, Obeko Ha. So only saw the General, of course. No man said then. All the institutions, government institutions, all the TV and as a corruption issues by parliament. Who do they give them to? Exactly. Who? And in the sense that those issues can be directly given to him to handle.
The AG could have done that.
The AG could have done that. But AG is so nyamre. That's a fancy Ghana name. Cote d'Ivoire border issue. Who is going to do all that? To ensure say those issues are well handled because they will directly come to him. Everybody knows straight. So until after Auditor General, who next?
Attorney General Cote d'Ivoire issue.
My example say, for instance, Ebia say AG no wa. It's good say.
Inte say Attorney General Cote d'Ivoire na say wantimi ye we no Matiamidu abako ada. One obeko su.
Oyedon.
I say it should be corruption, it should be so fear ada say obeko.
Waka so obeko akochichi omo.
Mama nchira ne ya kan say. Fear of God na ya modeba no. Mo ya yet say excuse me o. I say Ghanaian coaches. Wakobo league na say wa say nyame aye adom. Wanchira 30 score a wade ball match no. Say if you are on top and amfa nyame mba ho. Nyame no ono ho. Nyame waboa ne obeye bone waboa ne obeye papa. Nti say Matiamidu na baba the fear of them ono na me mpese mintie.
Countries lose millions of dollars to corruption. Another thing is a canker, a homopan. And so when he said with this special prosecutor's office, it will solve corruption in entirety.
To me, no. He said no. Ghana, when we talk about corruption, don't just think of somebody appointee or whatever. We are all corrupt. Because immediately something happened. BBC, no be our phone. Ghana, how be our face? What be our boss? What be our contact? My waro hane ade BBC pa. Oh, he's my boy. He this and that and so. I know you won't like it, but if you force me or you push me to the wall, I will revisit some issues. So a bit to me.
We shouldn't go there.
I will be the dokunume. Now say what me call security coordinator. At the end of the day, you see 20,000, and I'm a friend here 2,000. 2,000 no. I had the Africa ko ha. Now no me who say nimpa be no biti ha 2,000 no mu wie ya mo sori ko.
About the bill nature.
I say me to ho. Say cho ba restaurant bill ne say emfasie.
Is that your waiter?
Me ho me waiter. Inti say obi timi ba ya bibi sa na say I ka say 2,000 na charge nem pa. Gana han mara no nya dwuma. Wa hu independent na o mo kan me hu. Me ntiase yo. We can say independent. Somebody has appointed somebody and you are saying the person is independent. So that he has a boss. He will consult Nanado. These are the issues that comes before me. How do we do? Nanado will be willing to do. Somebody will call Nanado. Ghana here, that is our traditions.
And to corruption as totally corrupt by what can be brace. What they say. You tell me under President Kufuor we saw some prosecutions of some officials. What they say. And it was good. It helped. What they say. At least it gives the people confidence. Their monies are being protected well under this government. Person. And it's good. I bet boy in. Nti Martin ba wa ba no beboa The only problem maybe some people will have with him is maybe they think he's NDC or prosecuting this. But no, he's here for all. Anybody involved in corruption will be handled. We will be taken care of. And now about say about prosecuting politicians. They didn't appoint him for politicians' sake, but for every person involved in corruption, being a civil servant, public servant, whoever.
So you watching home can also partake in this discussion. Just let us know your views on this. Log on to our social media platforms. On Facebook as News on TV3 and on Twitter as a News TV3. Our WhatsApp line is active 050-823-5228. Just send us your comments. We're always ready to read them and share them with the rest of the world. Have a good morning.
The finder this morning says 2 cops killed, 7 suspects freed at Kwabena police station. Masked armed thugs terrorized residents of Kofredia. Avi Maria begs Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to extend demolition date. And GRA records 22.3% revenue growth in 2017. The First Lady commits to help improve the health sector. The Daily Statement says Auditor General's shocker. 300 million Ghana cedis EC cash gift. MPP stops NDC load. And Prof. Okwe takes over as president. Now, the finder, the BNFT, says Bank of Ghana aggressively pushing for mergers. The Daily Guide says man pass man as Nana teases Mahama. Avi Maria begs GPHA for extension. A robbers kill cop for 7 prisoners. And Daily Graphic says Speaker sworn in as acting president. VIP in UK on medical leave. And gunmen free cell inmates. Officer on duty killed. Gangsterism at Kwabena police station. My guest this morning is Felix Kwachi Ofosue, former Deputy Minister for Communication. Chief, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Haven't seen you this year.
Yes.
How's it going for you?
Well, it's been okay so far.
New Year resolutions, you have any to share?
Well, to be a much better person than I was last year. Yes, it's as simple as that.
Let's start off with the security situation. The IGP says we are safe. Do you feel safe?
I'm not sure that the IGP's assurance would find resonance with the generality of Ghanaians, especially because this recent dastardly attack on the Kwabena police station comes on the heels of equally very worrying acts of violence and crime by various groups and individuals. I mean, the very idea or notion that armed robbers will be bold enough, plan a raid on a police station of all places, attack and kill a police officer, and set free 7 suspects who are being held in that police station. It's mind-boggling. It is something that you would find in action movies. You would not think for a minute that it is something that would happen in Ghana, given our record as a nation and what have you. But you see, I think that we must all accept that there is a deteriorating security situation in the country. And that deterioration has witnessed very brazen attacks. Now the attacks are becoming more and more violent, more and more sophisticated, more and more brazen. And I think that it is attributable to the laissez-faire attitude of government and the leadership of the various security agencies. You see, government must command authority, and criminals take a cue from the response of government and other security authorities to other crimes. If they find out that the response is robust and it is firm and it is swift, and retribution is exacted against criminals who engage in that kind of conduct, it will give them pause. But we live in a country where very heinous crimes are committed, and sometimes, depending on the political coloration of who does it, absolutely nothing will be done. Indeed, in the run-up to this latest incident, there were a number of incidents last week involving political operatives that went unpunished during the polling station elections of the MPP in Asokore or some place like that. Gunshots were fired, and pellets were lodged in the bodies of a number of people. They were sent to hospital for them to be removed. But absolutely nobody, at least to the best of my knowledge, has been held liable for that violent incident. Before then, other disturbances had occurred. Indeed, only yesterday or so, we hear that somewhere in Golu, because of election-related violence, the residence of the DC has been vandalized, and nobody has been held accountable for that kind of conduct. We were in this country when thugs, or I like to call them terrorist groups, calling themselves Delta Forces, invaded a court of all places. We are talking about the invasion of a police station. Right. But they went as far as invading the court, the last bastion of law and order, to free suspects, to terrorize the judge, and basically vandalize the courtroom in order to send a signal that they will not tolerate or countenance the state's intervention in their unlawful activities. As I speak to you, absolutely nothing has been done to those who perpetrated that crime, even though I believe opportunity exists to identify them, hone in on them, apprehend them, and put them before a court to determine their guilt or otherwise. Now, when these things happen, and the state does not act because it factors in political gain or political loss, you would expect that other criminals will take a sign. They will see that perhaps the state is vulnerable in some parts, and they will move in and engage in these heinous activities. So, to be honest with you, I have not been satisfied with the response of the state and the response of security officials. You know, last week, when the president addressed the press at the Flagstaff House about the deteriorating security situation, he said that he believes that the police, as of now, are not adequately equipped, and perhaps that is why they are unable to resolve these crimes meaningfully. Now, I beg to differ. You see, why so? The Ghana police have proven themselves capable of rising to the occasion in a number of instances. There have been many crimes that they've been able to resolve. Some of them cross-border. Why? They were able to arrest a murder suspect who evaded capture in the United Kingdom, and fled to Ghana. Absolutely, the police were able to arrest him within a matter of hours upon receiving information about the issue, and we became the toast of the international media, and everybody was hailing how professional the police were, and they resolved many crimes in the past. What I believe has been lacking is the political will and the belief that they harbor, that if they moved in to deal with some of these crimes, they may get into the bad books of their political bosses, and therefore they tend to restrain. That sends a terrible signal to hardened criminals that they can perhaps pounce on the security personnel, kill them if it is necessary in order to have their way. I think that it is not reassuring. And the IGP, to be honest with you, has not, as it were, steered the affairs of the police service in a manner that engenders public confidence.
What will be reassuring to you?
Look,
to make you feel safe.
Look, they must punish crime, irrespective of who engages in it. As I speak to you, if they had apprehended the gentleman who assaulted ASP Nanka Bruce at the Flagstaff House, if stiffer punishment had been handed down to those who assaulted the Ashanti Regional the security coordinator, if those who stormed the court and freed members of the terrorist group called Delta Forces had been apprehended and perhaps were standing trial, or heavy sentences had been handed down to them, if those who fired guns at the MPP primary yesterday or the day before had been apprehended and were being taken through the various processes to exact justice, I'm sure that everybody would be confident that it's only a matter of time that these people are apprehended. I mean, if policemen are getting shot with all their training and all their weapons, one can only begin to shudder what will happen to people like you and I, who do not have any security training or who do not possess some of these weapons. So if the IGP wants his word to find resonance with the people of Ghana, then his actions must match his words. He must do far more and reform the way that the police approaches some of these issues. Otherwise, it's a very frightening situation indeed. Again, before I conclude, let me also question what kind of security arrangements and protocols exist at the police station that makes it possible for armed robbers to have easy access to the police. I do not have the full account. Perhaps you have delved into it because of your training. But is it the case that only one officer was left to man the police station?
Someone tells us, not in this particular case, but someone tells us that usually what happens is you have 2 people or maybe 3 and they run shifts. So you take a nap while I watch, and then when I come back, you also go and take a nap. It's a regular thing that happens.
Yeah, but given that these were violent criminals, these are suspected armed robbers who were being held there, the potential always would have existed for reprisal attacks. Right. And one has to question the arrangement put in place. Maybe this one would offer opportunity.
Professionalism?
Well, yeah, you can also question the thinking that went into instituting that kind of security regime. But the point I wish to make is that perhaps this will offer scope for a review of the processes and protocols. And depending on the nature of the crimes for which people are being held, maybe security could be beefed up. Maybe we should also enhance intelligence gathering, because I fail to believe that the police would be unaware, in spite of all their experiences over the years, that colleagues of these armed robbers fearing that they may be named or fingered in the crimes that these people were arrested for could be planning reprisal attacks.
When the president says that the police is not properly equipped, in other jurisdictions you find CCTV cameras, people are arrested, they take mug shots of them, their heights, their demographics is picked up. In our situation, you hardly get those. And if you take a look at the pictures as you find here, on a screen, you will find people behind the counter, people on a hospital bed, and all of that. But let me introduce Honorable Alexander Afenyomaki, his MP for Futu constituency, and he's joined us. Chief, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, and I apologize to you and the viewers.
It's okay. Do you feel safe?
I do.
You do. A policeman has been killed and is becoming one too many. The IGP says we're safe, but let me ask you one more time, do you feel safe?
Well, if you say it's becoming one too many, I do not know the context within which you are situating one too many. But let's look at it generally in terms of security. Well, it's a sad story to hear that criminals or individuals who are part of a cell have attacked a police station in an attempt to free one of them or one of the members who is in lawful custody. It is a sad situation. That shouldn't be happening. But to make a political argument out of it would be to undermine the very situation and also to divert attention.
Because the political argument.
Very well. A situation like this calls for all of us to look at ways of getting improved logistics for the police. And also, like you said, CCTV cameras and all that are required, at least at our police stations. So we need those things. Again, it also calls for a review of how remand orders are made. As a lawyer, I would admit that most of the times when we're asking for bail, we're praying for bail, we would prefer our client to be in police custody, so that they could easily transport him or her to the court, because that one, an arrangement could be made for a police officer to the investigator to bring the person. Now, with this, it means that the appropriate place would be the prison, prison cells, where there's adequate, a fortified place where colleagues cannot go there and say that they are going to free such a person. So I'm sure that the police would have a look at that, and then the court will take note of that, or take judicial notice when hardened criminals are being remanded. They would not say that they should be in a police custody. So that is one important issue. Now, on the issue of the non-performance of the IGP, well, Felix has every right to criticize the IGP. I criticize when I spot some potholes in general administration and conduct. So it is his right. But in criticizing the IGP, he must get the criticism right.
What did he get wrong?
All right, sure. You cannot criticize the IGP and claim that certain people were not punished enough. He has investigative powers and some prosecutorial powers. The prosecutorial powers will land in the hands of the court, make a case, lead evidence of probative value for the judge to make a pronouncement. So if a judge makes a pronouncement, you cannot blame the police. Neither can you blame the judiciary. We have sentencing rules and guidelines. So if somebody has offended, had a brush with the law for the first time, the rules are there. So the fact that you have serious sentiment, you have your own views about a particular conduct, does not mean that, hey, the judge should, you know...
he mentions Officer Nanka Bruce at the Flagstaff House, for example.
Well, do you know...
Those who...
No, I'm coming to respond. I'm responding to that. You see, there is something about our criminal jurisprudence. It is okay to make a gallery debate, but if you really want to know it, you must understand that it is very procedural. And any failure or any misstep would render everything you are doing odious. Look, a complainant cannot be passive in a criminal investigation. If, as we sit here today, God forbid, and I won't do that, for some reason, tempest flare, and you throw your hand, assault, right? You slapped me. Right. I go and report you to the police. And later, police invite me, Honorable, tell us how it happened. I'm busy. Oh, please come and give us further statement. I'm busy. Oh, in fact, Johnny is my good friend. I think we've resolved. After all, the Court Act provides for reconciliation where even in a criminal matter, where parties think that they are ready to do so, or where even resolving it
but at what stage? That's the question.
At any stage, at least before conviction. At any stage, at least before conviction. I'm telling you that if we want to make a legal argument, let's make so. If you want to make normal political argument,
but this has become a national issue, Council.
Yes, so if it's a national issue, situate it. Look, I'm so much in love with this Tagore ruling that the Court of Appeal made some serious pronouncement. Like, look, in proving somebody's guilt, it's not about the media reaction. It's not about how the public react. Lead evidence of probative value. Are we talking law? Yes. If so, I'm saying that certain steps must be followed. We may not be happy. Law itself is not logic. Law itself is not logic. But the way you think is not the way the law would interpret it.
I can imagine how the people in Kwabenya are feeling at this point. That the fortress that's supposed to be protective of them is under attack. It's been hacked into, and people.
So they will feel unsafe. I agree. So I'm saying that in all of this, after the noise, after all the hue and cry, what are the issues? What must we do?
For example, I'm asking that you've lived outside as well, Felix as well. If somebody is arrested in, say, the US, they take a mark shot, height and everything else. Here, look at the photos. Let's take a look at the photos and where the photos were taken from. Hospital bed, one in front of a safe, one by a door. I don't know where this comes from. This one looks like a safe, and this one looks like another one. See, so you can't even see their eyes clearly. You can't see what and how they look like.
So, for instance, identification parade, there will be problem. Yes, so what I'm saying is that this attack, more or less, has exposed the police in terms of their readiness to fight crime, or in terms of their logistical strength. So we should look at it from that angle. Encourage government. I'm a member of the Defense and Interior Subcommittee of Parliament, Select Committee of Parliament.
Does it worry you that these things happen?
Oh, it does, of course. Because if the police come, and I've been on that committee for 5 years, it is not new. From the time I became a member of the committee in 2013, each year they come with their budget. Not only the police, fire service, immigration, army, they all come and say, look, we need these logistics. So approve it for us, but the state doesn't have it. In fact, this year, the committee went a step further in urging them to intensify public corporate social responsibility drive.
Okay.
And so appeal more to corporate Ghana to support them, at least in every district of this country or any community, municipality. You may have 1 or 2 businessmen. We encourage them that appeal to the banks. You need certain logistics. Most of these institutions tend to rely on international NGOs.
But there's also been questions about conflict of interest, where I have a company and I provide, say, money for you to be able to acquire some arms. If I commit a certain crime, would you have the moral right to come to me?
That is too inelastic, Johnny. You are talking about conflict of interest in real terms, or you want to just look at it? No. We have a duty to society. He and I agree that the state doesn't have all. The state cannot do it all. That is why we resort to public-spirited individuals to support. I am saying that the problem with our security is an age-old problem.
Okay.
What should we do? The state itself should be active in addressing it. But aside that, institutions of state, private institutions can help. The media can also raise the awareness. Recently, Joy FM, what they did at Konfanochi has led to mother and child care units being constructed and handed over to the facility for Ghanaians to benefit. It is that documentary by a journalist, by a media house, that led to that.
In fact, it
is the primary responsibility.
It was TV3's documentary that brought the decongestion.
Oh, great. And in fact, I can also tell you that when I was a presiding member, TV3, is it Asante, your Swedro correspondent? I don't know whether he's still with you. When I was a presiding member, there used to be a place in Winneba where Dr. Yebiakwa, then as a medical officer in Winneba Government Hospital, had earmarked for a hospital. In fact, a trauma center today. It was TV3 documentary when I was a presiding member. The place was an abandoned place. It was a TV3 documentary that has given Winneba a trauma center. Else the government's attention was not there. There was no immediate awareness to have a trauma center so that accident victims could be catered for and all that. The point is, government has logistical challenge. Government has financial constraints. The problem is, as a result, government is unable to meet all
Is security a major priority of this government? Is it of this government?
Oh, certainly. Security is the priority of every serious government.
I don't get that indication because I know that 2 years ago, the fire service appeared in Parliament and they said that they can't fight fires beyond the 6th or 7th floor. You remember that?
I do.
And then
that was 2015.
Good. And then they asked for a helicopter, they asked for other things. 2018, we have not procured one of those things for them.
I agree.
So then you want to question whether the state has security as its topmost priority.
I agree with you to that extent, that a demand was made for such a facility or such support. But in 2018 budget, as far as I can remember, they made requests for some fire tenders, additional ones, and those were budgeted for. But I am saying that in spite of the seriousness the state may want to attach or would want to attach to security, there is still the need for all of us to look beyond that and support our security agencies.
Right. I thank you very much. Felix, you want to have a
There are a few
quick
issues that I want to cover. You see, of course, there's no dispute that by virtue of our current status as a developing country, we have significant resource constraints. And these constraints find expression in just about every endeavor of life. So that is accepted. However, it is the duty of government to resource the security agencies. In fact, the question you posed to Alex, I was unhappy about his answer as to whether security was a priority for this government. The security should not only be a priority, it is the #1 priority. In fact, The day that...
I said topmost priority.
Absolutely. So it should be the number one. In fact, when you are elected a government, your first priority is to secure your borders and ensure the security of all people living within your country. The day that is undermined, you cease to effectively become a state. So it is the number one. If you cannot do anything at all for your people, you should guarantee security. What that means is that consistent effort has to be made to enable the security agencies render that service and discharge that responsibility. But when you have a situation where a president is questioned about his policies on security and he laments the inadequacy of resources going to the security agencies, then you have a huge problem. Look, when we were in power, we did significant work to ensure that the security agencies are equipped, almost all of them. The police, the fire service, we spoke about fire tenders. Indeed, the last time they got any significant number of fire tenders was under the NDC administration. Indeed, between 2009 and 2016, if I'm not mistaken, about 200 fire tenders were given to the fire service. Large capacity fire tenders.
So then why would they be asking for
of
some
course,
more?
Of course,
I mean,
of course.
When the resources depleted in a year?
Well, of course. New and emerging challenges come up all the time that they need to deal with. The buildings have gotten higher, so they require higher and stronger and more robust turntables to be able to address a challenge that will be posed by a fire outbreak in high-rise buildings. The way that cities are planned and all that keeps on changing, so they are stretched every now and then. So the fact that we provided some does not mean that a subsequent government...
But yesterday on agenda, we were told that there are 6 policemen to 1 rifle, one Kalashnikov.
Well, so what that means is that more has to be done.
But these haven't come about suddenly, you know.
Nobody has said so.
No.
They also did not, point. You see, they also did not come about in the 8 years preceding the coming to power of the MPP.
So there's a national problem.
But you see, but when there's a national, you see, no, Alex, let me make my point. You see, when you meet a problem, you address it.
Okay.
But that is only one aspect of the difficulty. Even as you address the problems that emerge, your body language and your conduct must signal a government that is serious, that wants to tackle crime.
Irrespective language is
I'm talking about the leadership, starting from the president to, because all the security heads are his appointees.
Right.
Indeed, today we have a very elaborate security structure with many more people at various points than before. Now, he sought to defend government on the Nanka Bruce non-action. Look, ask him between what time Nanka Bruce lodged a report and the time that he withdrew the complaint to the police service. What happened in between? Are you aware that they actually punished those who they suspected leaked the CCTV footage, as opposed to punishing the culprits? In any event, even if Nanka Bruce was not...
Are you saying these based on facts?
Oh, but yes, it's true. They detained 2 or 3 military officers and accused them of leaking the CCTV footage, because the CCTV footage embarrassed them. Indeed, until that CCTV footage came out, no action had been taken in that particular matter, even though they were aware. Why? If Nanka Bruce was not interested in prosecuting genuinely, if he had not come under duress to withdraw the complaint, what about breaching the security of the Flagstaff House? It's a security zone. If you go there right now, you will not get in quite easily.
Right.
Even he and MP will go through some rigorous security checks before he's allowed in. So it is not a place where you can just enter and misconduct yourself in a manner that the invisible forces did. But because of the lack of commitment to addressing that problem, they felt emboldened. And more of their groups went on to carry out dastardly attacks. If we were to isolate the Nanka Bruce incident, indeed, you spoke about the existence of CCTV cameras at various... The Flagstaff House has more security gadgets than perhaps any other place I know in this country. The evidence exists, and yet nothing was done. So sometimes it's not just the lack of resources, but it's actually the lack of will to address the problem that sends the wrong signals.
Right.
If we were to isolate that incident, what about all the others that have happened that have not received any attention? What about the one that happened just before the weekend, where, as part of arrangements for polling station elections to be conducted, a disagreement breaks out and people fire gunshots and get others injured? What happened to those who fired the gunshots?
That would not be the first.
Well,
so
but
a national issue is...
Don't overgeneralize the issue. There is no national issue. What there is...
This is not national.
No, you see, what there is a political establishment that is unwilling to punish its members who engage in crime. That is all that there is.
So the people who attacked the police station at Kwabenya are MPP?
I didn't say so, but I'm saying that when criminals see that it is possible to get away with violent crime, they will be emboldened. Right. If those people had been held accountable and had been punished severely, I'm sure the criminals will take pause and say that there is a government that is serious and will deal with us if we are caught. But if you have a situation where Even the Flagstaff House security can be breached and people can engage in violent conduct and walk away. How do you expect criminals to take a cue from it? So I'm not making a political argument. What I'm saying is that, you see, you must send the right signals as a leader. No, you see, of course, if it is political, it is simply because of the actors involved. But crime is crime. If Alex commits a crime, it should be dealt with. If I commit a crime, I should be dealt with. But if Alex commits a crime, and you see clearly that the only reason why he's not dealt with is because of his political colours, it will send the wrong signal to me.
We need to move on now. Yes. Alex, I'll give you 1 minute and then we'll move on, please.
Felix makes a political argument and runs away from it. But the fact remains that he's, misrepresenting the facts. Is it on record that an MPP activist committed a crime and he was never investigated and prosecuted?
Yes.
He should give us names.
Oh.
This so-called, please,
the Delta forces who went to invade the court have not been prosecuted. They've not been investigated.
Felix, allow him to.
I thought you were asking the director.
Felix,
by the way, we've not met this year.
Anyway, let's move on, gentlemen. They are friends. The vice president is on medical leave in the United Kingdom.
John, we need to finish this.
You allow him to get there. You allow him. So
don't worry. We need to see.
We need to.
So there is no such evidence that an MPP activist committed a crime.
Hold your horses.
And the government, because it is not the government that has a duty to investigate. Please, if we are educating people, we are informing people, we need to make that point.
But he makes the argument that it is a security enclave.
Hold on, of course. And I'm saying that on record, these people were investigated, prosecuted, the judiciary dealt with them. Please, you know it. Now, Nanka Bruce, why? The man you are talking about files a complaint, is a police officer, and he withdraws a complaint. You are now telling the whole world, or you want the whole world to believe, that which is out there is not in fact true. You are claiming, or you are alleging rather seriously, that some military men were arrested for misconduct. You've not mentioned their names. Two.
But it is true. Everybody knows that. I don't know why you are the only one who doesn't know that.
Alex, do you know if some military men were picked up?
I don't know.
Well,
and if he knows, he should give out their names.
Why?
Two, he claims that Nanka Bruce was under duress. From which quarters? Please, so if we really want to address issues, let's pick ground on those statements on fact, so that we can make progress. If you are making you go to the rally grounds, you can say this, and like what the President Mahama said, what President Mahama said in this their unity walk, that MPP is going to appoint an MPP lawyer as a special prosecutor. It turned out not to be true. You can say that there, but here we can only earn the respect of our viewers if we see, yes, we're doing politics, but we situate on facts. Then you are moving on, you are making progress.
The gentleman has not been prosecuted.
I thank you very much.
Who has been prosecuted?
The vice president.
The man has withdrawn. Who is going to be the witness? No. You are the star witness.
Gentlemen.
You are the victim.
You are the lawyer.
If as a victim.
You are the lawyer.
No.
Can you not be prosecuted for breaching a public peace alone? Can you not?
Who is
no, can you not?
Is it a state liability offense? Is it a state liability offense or you need evidence?
You are hiding behind legalists
no.
To explain away what you all know.
You see?
Yes, but that's what you are doing.
I'm hiding behind legalists.
Yes, but
we need the law. Without the law, there will be chaos.
You are telling me that you can go to the White House today and do what the gentleman did to
what did he
walk away. He assaulted the senior police officer.
The senior police officer says no, that is not correct.
He breached the peace.
But the senior police officer says it's not correct.
He's withdrawn. Of the Flagstaff House.
You don't
do that and walk away.
The police officer has withdrawn. He says no.
Let's read your thoughts and comments. 0500 823
you realize the way
0500 823
yes, but that's what
so we should not.
Alex, thank you. Let's move on. Now, the vice president is in the UK on medical leave. And it's become a source of worry to many people because the vice president took ill on Friday. We had a statement from Eugene Ahin. Then there was a follow-up, and then Eugene says it is not true. And then we saw another statement from Chief of Staff Freeman Parry that says, yes, indeed, the vice president is out there. We don't know what the medical situation of the vice president is, but does it worry you, Felix?
Well, it is worrying. To be honest with you, I have not been impressed with the approach of government to this matter.
Would you ever be impressed?
Let me make my point.
Alex,
no, would you ever be impressed?
Alex, allow him.
No, but you should say that.
You
should say that he would never be impressed. You shouldn't say
Alex,
that.
Alex, I thank you very much.
Have you ever been impressed?
I have not been impressed.
Have you ever been
impressed? Alex, thank you very much.
What are the few ones that have impressed you? Free SHS has not been
Alex,
impressed.
please, I beg you. Alex, I beg you, please.
Not even free SHS has
impressed. Felix, you have the floor, please.
Absolutely. So it has not been impressive. Look, we were, as we say in our palace, we were sitting at somewhere when when a statement was issued by Eugene Ahin, the Director of Communications at the Flagstaff House.
Right.
To be honest with you, when I saw the statement, I panicked. Because whereas the statement sought to show that the Vice President's ailment, or whatever was wrong with him, was not too serious, and that he was under observation by competent medical personnel.
Right.
It would have occurred to anybody who cared to observe that if the ailment was not serious, a statement would not have been issued.
They were trying to be honest, perhaps.
No, you see, well, the point I seek to make is that if the Vice President suffers a headache, maybe he catches a cold, he has a flu, it will not be the subject of a public announcement. Right. He will only go home and rest and recover quietly and return to work when he is fit to do so. It will not warrant the issuance of a statement, because we are not going to have a situation where anytime the president or the vice president sneezes, a statement will be issued telling the public that they are unwell. So I was quite frankly alarmed by the statement, even though it was a very terse one. Then it started rounds of speculation about what could be the cause of this ailment.
What did you hear?
Well, I don't think that is appropriate to put out that kind of speculation. Look, my personal position is that human frailty or infirmity is something that can befall anybody. So for me, it's not a matter that needs to be politicized. It's not necessary. And the fact that one is president or vice president does not make you immune to ailment. There's no superhuman being, as far as I'm aware of. So it is not really an issue that the president or the vice president falls sick, except that it is bound to generate anxiety and panic in the Ghanaian body politic because of the role that they play in administering the country. But when the first statement came, even if one was minded to be at ease, because perhaps the ailment was not serious, it was followed hours later by a statement purporting to have come from Eugene Ahin again,
right,
in which it was announced that the vice president actually had left the country for the United Kingdom for medical treatment. That statement was denied, only to be followed a few hours later by a serious statement from the office of the Chief of Staff, signed by the Chief of Staff herself, which basically reiterated the same statement that Eugene Ahin had denied hours earlier. So it added to the confusion. One was then left with no option than to question how the purported fake statement could have been so accurate in terms of its resemblance to the one that the Chief of Staff
Do you see a disconnect?
Well, what it is entirely possible that that statement was indeed official, except that I did not have authorization.
Okay.
If you look at the signature, it was signed or purported to have been signed by Eugene Ahin.
Right.
But the one that government takes responsibility for was signed by the Chief of Staff. So you can tell that perhaps whoever issued that did not have authorization at that point, because the striking resemblance between the two sets of information that they put out could not escape any serious scrutiny. So again, if the vice president's ailment is not serious, why does he need to travel all the way to the United Kingdom for treatment?
Which brings me to the question whether we trust our facilities and our professionals.
I recall that
because when President Mahama opened the Accra Regional Hospital, we were told that this is top notch, this is international standard, we have all the people there, we won't be going anywhere. So over and over again, our big men and women have been traveling outside, and we want to question whether we trust the system.
I recall
or not.
that one of the lines of attack of the MPP in the run-up to their coming to power in 2000, and I recall this quite clearly, was that government officials at the time used to travel abroad for treatments under the Rawlings administration.
Were you included?
No, I wasn't the government official at the time, so I wasn't the government official at the time, so I could not possibly have been included.
Right.
And that they were going to end
but during your time, did you ever travel out?
Not for
to
medical.
seek medical.
No, not for medical. Thankfully, I didn't have any serious medical condition to warrant that. But I have confidence in the ability of Ghanaian medical professionals to rise to the occasion. And we indeed do have world-class hospitals. As I speak to you, there's a very needless tussle over the University of Ghana Medical Center, which was built by the NDC administration at a cost of $217 million. It is modeled on the Sheba Medical Center in Israel, and is equipped in a way that enables them provide first-class healthcare to all manner.
So why didn't we take the vice president there?
It happens to be the case that the NPP government is brawling with the University of Ghana authorities for control over its management. The hospital was started in 2012. It was completed in 2016. President Mahama commissioned it in January 2017. Now, in 2015, despite the fact that it was built by government, it was wholly financed by a loan that government contracted. There was an agreement in 2015 that it would be managed by the University of Ghana, because there are many, many advantages. And one of them, perhaps the NPP government has not averted its mind to it, is that it allows them to circumvent any strike that may hold our healthcare delivery to ransom. Because once the hospital is being managed by the University of Ghana, it means that the employees there are employees of the University of Ghana. They are essentially a private organization. So they are not bound by strikes that are threatened or undertaken by the Ghana Medical Association. And that is a huge facility that will be able to serve as a stopgap measure pending the resolution of any such strike or industrial action in the medical center, in the medical.
So why didn't
sector.
we take the vice president there? That's my
well,
question.
that is a question best posed to the NPP administration. What that may...
Do we trust our system enough?
Well, I'm not sure that is a matter of trust. The question you ought to be asking is, why has the medical condition of the vice president not been disclosed?
We've asked that already.
You spoke about transparency.
I'm asking, yes.
You spoke about transparency.
But I'm asking that question.
What is the use in coming to tell us? I'll come to that.
Hold on, Felix. Let me ask this question. That we have Kolebu, we have all the other big facilities. Why 37 military hospital, for example? Why don't we take our big men there when they are ill and we have to fly them out of the country?
It is a question best posed to the NPP government. They made that decision to send the vice president abroad.
During your time,
well, it may have happened, but the point is that I recall that the NPP itself came out. Indeed, I have read a news item in which the then Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the NPP, Mr. Ishmael Ashiti, who is now Greater Accra Regional Minister, questioned the rationale behind sending government officials abroad and even demanded details of the medical condition of then President Mills. The Ghana Medical Association itself, through its general secretary, also lambasted the NDC administration for sending Professor Mills abroad, except that when the vice president went abroad this time, I have not heard from them. I don't know whether they have moved away from that position because of the coloration of the party in power, or they still stand by it. They should clarify, because it is important that we are consistent. You see, if they act that way, it strengthens the arms of politicians to send senior public officials abroad. So I expect the Ghana Medical Association to insist this time round that perhaps the vice president should have been taken care of, and also insist that there should be full disclosure on exactly what is wrong with the vice president. You see, when you cite transparency as the reason why you put out a statement that the vice president is unwell, but stop short of telling us of exactly what is wrong with him, I don't think that the objective would have been achieved.
We've had a similar situation, not similar, I must say, but at the time when President Mills, bless his soul, was rushed to 37, nobody told us what his condition was.
Well, but I have told you that the NPP, through accredited officials, demanded details of what was wrong.
But nobody gave it out.
I recall that the president's brother, Dr. Kadman Mills, when he was being buried at near the Osu Castle, put out information on what caused the death.
Remind us what did he say?
It is a matter of public information. I don't think that.
Remind my viewers.
Like I've told you,
be magnanimous.
Like I've told you, it is a matter of public information. I have told you that somebody's health and infirmity is not something that I am going to use for any political gain. The only reason why this would have been an issue is that the MPP, which is currently saddled with that problem, sought to make political capital out of an existing situation in the past. And so perhaps they are confronted with a similar situation. They don't know exactly what to do. But in a nutshell, if they are unwilling to go as far as telling us what exactly is wrong with the vice president, then I'm not sure that their transparency objective has been achieved. And certainly, the untidy atmosphere that characterized the statements that were issued in respect of this matter did not help matters. It has not doused the speculation which has gone on social and traditional media.
I thank you. Yes. Alex, speculations about what's happening to the vice president and why the vice president was not kept here to be handled by, because indeed on Friday, doctors saw to him. So what happened? What are your thoughts?
Well, let me address your question this way. Unlike Europe or other advanced countries, we as a people, I mean Ghanaians, our medical situations or conditions are matters that we consider them very private. You agree? As part of our culture, when somebody is unwell, we don't want to say it. It's part of our culture. When our chiefs die, we don't disclose until such a time. So it's part of our culture. Recently, a friend told me that, he was surprised when he was running some tests and his doctor told him that, he being highly placed, would he want his name to be used for the samples and all that? And he was surprised. Why? He said, those labs, you cannot trust. People may disclose and leak information. So people normally want to keep their medical conditions private to themselves. So that is why he thinks that he as a doctor has a duty to him. Now, putting that aside, coming to our former president, Mills, not a single day were we told what was wrong with him. In fact, we were told that he was even fit. We were also told that there was no ambulance at the Osu Castle to take him to 37. And to date, we don't even know what had really happened to him.
That is actually false. That is absolutely. He was taken to 37 in an ambulance.
I thank you for that information. Felix, Alex, please make progress. Alex, we don't have a lot of time. You want a pen? Please. Yes.
You know that which the heart knoweth, the face can choose to bear false witness.
So let's make progress in this matter. I'm asking about
we
the
were
vice
told
president.
Who told
that there was no ambulance immediately available.
He says there's a contrary.
Who told
Again,
who told you?
We were told.
By whom?
That, yes, you are right. We heard. No, we heard.
You heard from where?
Now I see.
Where did you hear it from?
From the room.
Can we move?
No, he's heckling me and you are comfortable with that.
I'm asking you to go
But
on.
you are asking me questions to answer. The man is disturbing me.
I've asked you questions and I've told you to ignore him and move on, please. Please make progress.
Very well.
Thank you.
Without intimidation, I will. So, even at 37, we don't know whether he was sent to maternity ward or there was an emergency ward where he was sent to, or he was sent to. We don't know. As we speak, we don't know where our president was sent to. We don't know. We don't know.
Bless his soul, and yes. Because his
so
family is
sure. What I'm saying is that there are a lot of things that we still don't know as a nation. A statement has been put out that the Vice President of the Republic is on a medical leave. I rely on that statement without more.
That's all you want to say.
And that's a fact. I rely on it without more.
The back and forth in between the statements.
There is a statement. As we speak, constitutionally, there is an acting president.
Right.
He has been sworn in by virtue of a Supreme Court ruling. Mr. President is in Liberia.
performing his role as president.
Well, don't let that is a constitutional.
No, let's get into Alex, my question is why don't we trust the facilities and system enough to have kept our vice president here? Because when the matter broke on Friday, we're told that he had medical handlers here who were doing the work. So why do we need to take him out? There's Kolibu, there's 37, there's University of Ghana Hospital.
I don't understand your question.
My question is that we have the medical facilities here. Unless you want to say we don't trust our medical facilities enough. But we have the facilities, we have the capable hands. Why didn't we keep the vice president here? That's been a concern out there.
In the statement we heard on the advice of his
medical doctors.
That on the advice of his medical doctors. Now, we're told that he's taking medical leave. So you could be unwell and your doctors could treat you. You need some quietness, you need some peace of mind to recuperate. If you are in Ghana or if you are somewhere within the jurisdiction, perhaps visitors who want to know how are you and all that. We are told that he's on medical leave. Okay, Mr. Vice President, leave the jurisdiction and have a rest so that you could recuperate. Your doctors can advise you that, look, leave here. I've had occasions where my phones were taken away from me. That my doctor had warned me that, Alex, man for call. Leave Winneba, go to Accra. Can you leave the country if you have the means? Because you need rest. You need rest. You don't rest. On TV, going to court, going to lecture, going to Abuja, going to Winneba to campaign. You need rest. So take vacation. You are recuperating. He says, look, you need some leave so that you can recover fully.
So there's no cause for alarm?
I have just answered you. I've just answered you.
There's no cause for alarm?
I have answered you.
That he's taking a medical leave and that's all?
But that is a statement.
Okay.
And I rely on it without more.
Wait. I mean, just indulge me a bit. Look, if they've taken a decision that the vice president be sent abroad for treatment, let them stick to it.
You see.
But the explanations that have followed are simply not tenable. You see, it gives the impression that they are trying to rationalize. In a post-facto, look, what do they mean by if the vice president remains here, he's going to be disturbed by relatives and well-wishers? Even in normal times when he is well, not everybody gets access to him. So when he is not well, it is possible for us to put in place arrangements that prevent a situation where he's inundated with visitors, except those who are required to be by him. I refuse to accept that explanation. It is not a tenable one.
In fact, Alex,
I refuse to accept that explanation. And they need to credit the people of Ghana with some intelligence.
The wife of the vice president is out there with him in the UK, we are told. If he is going on the quiet, as you say, would he need his wife by his side?
Johnny.
No,
that one.
Are you married?
No, I'm asking.
Are you married?
No, I'm asking.
Are you married?
I am asking.
No, are you a married man?
I am asking.
What does his marital status got to do with this?
I'm asking a question. I am asking a question.
How old are you, Johnny? Are you a small boy?
Is it Johnny? It is not a problem to have the vice president.
He's a small boy. Don't mind him.
But the explanation is simply not tenable.
You see, now
you're a small boy.
Now instead of answering my question,
I've answered you. You're a small boy.
You are attacking me. No, instead of
madam
instead of answering my question,
madam is with the papa, and you are saying that does he need madam to be with him? Did you just ask that, John?
No, I'm asking that because you're telling me that he needs peace and quiet. So
Felix and
good morning, Johnny and Dr. Nanama. Johnny, I really like the way you always educate the public on national issues. Keep it up. I want to suggest to the IGP that those corporate pictures should be quickly sent to our neighboring borders, especially our Plow border, Amuzu, Oscar, Solo, Georgia. Thank you very much. Security in Ghana is wobbling. In fact, it's gradually becoming a state of insecurity where security officers themselves become victims than civilians. I think Ghanaians must do something about this before it gets out of hand. Alaji Willie P. in the Fiekuma. I will first of all place all the blame at the doorstep of government communication outlet for this serious communication gap. The Vice President's health system wasn't communicated to Ghanaians well, and it's up to them to tell us why they did that. It's most unfortunate. Aladi Salu Shosho Fiekuma. Good morning, Johnny and Amma. Where were where will Ghana be just next month? We're all in a serious and critical situation. You want to know where Ghana will be in the next month. Once again, what is the fear of God or Matiamidu if no one hires in life in 2020 is just around the corner? Israel from Sokode, thank you. We're joking as a country. We don't even have CCTV cameras at our police station. Most of our military barracks, things happen at the blind side of authorities. We always wait for things to happen before authorities set up. Let's be citizens, not spectators. Ewuku Kuwait, Iron City. Good morning, NewDay. I really don't understand how this good government on one hand wants to fight corruption and on another hand not willing to pass the right information bill. I don't get it. God help us. Samuel Balungo in Bongo district. And good morning. On the issue of the special prosecutor, I think it's laudable because once he is there, the fear of defaulting or playing with the public purse will be there, because you definitely know if you play, the full fire will catch you. Godfred and Kwame Krom. The country needs serious review on security structure. The current government has lost track in handling the country from invisible forces to armed robbery attack. Our whole security apparatus must be reviewed, including the president in 2020. Shaggy Nima Suini Imran Tamale says lawlessness in this country is becoming a norm, and I think the IGP and his various commanders must rise to the occasion or act appropriately. We need to be reassured of our safety as citizens, since the security themselves can be attacked in this matter. Good morning. Please let our president know that if nothing at all, he is accountable for God to any single life lost in our out of insecurity. Greetings to Honorable Betty Crosby. Thank you. Good morning, TV3. It's absolutely unacceptable for Felix to politicize everything of national significance. When you do that, you thwart the efforts of arriving at a genuine conclusion. Ghana is not a banana state where you bundle alleged perpetrators into jail without procedural cause. He's got to wake up from his deep slumber and insomnia as the result of the historic defeat from the last polls. It's just ignorant and must give us a break. I'm sure you didn't mean all of that. Roberts, Kilcop, free 7 prisoners. To me, this current IGP is the most incompetent IGP that a government has ever appointed in the history of Ghana police service, and I don't blame him. When you have a bad government, this is what you will expect. A bloody in a Fiekuma. There's a final one, Harriet. I think the insecurity issues in the country is so worrying, and proper measures should be put in place to curb it. Now, citizens in this country live in fear, even in your own home. Police officers and military officers have been attacked every now and then. What do we, the civilians, do? The government should do something before it's too late. I'm Gavin in East Legon. And those are the sentiments expressed. The gentlemen, we need to wrap up. I'll give you the final word, and then Alex will take it.
Well, I think that government should tidy up its communication around this subject. And they should refrain from patronizing the people of Ghana by putting out explanations that, quite frankly, do not add up. The vice president is not in the UK because he wants to avoid relatives and friends. It is possible for that to happen even here. If the decision has been made to get him the best of treatment, that is fine. But they should not seek to, belittle our intelligence with such explanations. But before I go, there's a viewer of yours called Lisa, who is in Boku, who insists that you acknowledge her, otherwise you are going to be in a lot of trouble.
Lisa, good morning to you. And on behalf of Felix, I say good morning to you.
All right, yeah.
Alex, you have a final thought on this one?
Well,
let's wrap up.
I hold the view that we should trust government in respect of information that it puts out.
Okay.
The information out there is that the vice president is on medical leave. Security is a priority of government. Of course, we know it's not the first time that a police officer has been attacked or a member of the security forces has been attacked. Not the first time that the police station has been attacked in this country. But all these things, when they happen, wake us up to certain realities that we must come to terms with. And I'm sure that the government will do everything within its power to resource the police administration. I see this IGP as one of the very best we've had, and he's contributing his quota. We should give him the opportunity to deliver. Of course, there can't be a perfect system where there are challenges.
Some say he's not acting.
He's not acting as in what?
He's not acting. Following the president's orders. The president
he's being hindered politically. That's actually the truth.
What must he do?
Yeah.
You see, what must he do? One of your
political terrorism.
One of your contributors made a point that if we continue to make some of these political arguments, God forbid, somebody will see Felix and say, "Hey, he's a thief," slap him. You remember what happened to Tony Edu? It was a very bad thing that happened ever to a politician. All because of some of these things. We may be thinking that, oh, this is a political statement, but you want to encourage people out there rather to be lawless.
Okay. How?
You don't want to
see that is encouraging them.
You don't.
Is inaction.
No.
Thank you very much.
Inaction in what
sense?
Because you don't actually violence perpetrated
Minister
by
for
political party
Communication of the Republic
terrorists.
of Ghana is
It is not
a member of the NDC's communication.
That is who died.
Alexander Afenyuma is the MP for constituency in the Central Region and is joined us here. Gentlemen, I thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
The accusations and counter-accusations and the conversations continue
where you are. You two say, yes. Let me wish you happy.
Well, same to you.
So that a year without your stubbornness.
He said he's resolved to be a better person this year.
Oh, really?
Just like you. You said that to me last week too. So
what did I say?
Okay. We'll take a break at this point to return after this. Safe now. They have a president now. There are people here. They should go back home and help the country grow.
Johnny, but I mean, it's not as easy as saying go back home and help the country, because I'm sure quite a number of people passionately would want to go, but the fear of their political unrest, the fact that they have lived there before and have seen what the war has been able to do to some parts of Liberia. They've seen some of the reforms that didn't go well for them as Liberians, and so the fear is innate. Even as much as they would wish it away, it still remains, and so it's not as easy as it sounds. I'm just hoping that with President George Weah coming on the scene now, it will give some people more confidence. He will do things differently. That will bring to, a relief to all Liberians, whether in Liberia or outside Liberia, to actually see a different Liberia and want to be there. As much as they think it, they'll actually actualize it by going there to make things different on their platform. But
I think that the resolution by all of them to make sure that this works is fine. But let's go on to Liberia. Akusia is a woman on the beat out there. She's joined us. Hello, Akusia. Good morning. Hello, Akusia. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
We lost her. We're trying to connect with her, so we'll bring you, the feeling out there in Liberia. Akusia, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing fine.
Tell us what's happening in Liberia at the moment.
Liberians are in a joyous mood today. All roads are heading towards the Liberian international sports stadium. And there is one thing that will run through like a chorus. Like they have to say, everybody is saying George Okonria is the people's president. The people's president. The people's president. So I thought to find out why they are all saying that newly elected president is the people's president.
Right.
And it looks like he's somebody that they think they can relate to. In 2005, he lost the election.
Right.
And the major campaign message that was being used against him was the fact that he doesn't have education.
Right.
He's not. He doesn't qualify to be the president of Liberia.
Right.
So in 2006, he went to Accra. High school
right, he was his WASI
at age 40.
Right.
And in 2011, he also acquired a degree in business administration, and now he has a master's degree.
Absolutely.
So Liberians keep saying, okay, the mouth, it looks like what they were using against him, now he has it.
Yeah.
And they also believe that it doesn't matter how the people may think you are a failure, you can always achieve what you are aspiring to.
Akusia, tell us.
So that is on the list of most of the Liberian citizens.
Right. Akosia, tell us now, preparations towards the investiture, how's it going?
Hello?
Preparations towards the inauguration or investiture, how's it going?
The inauguration has not started yet. It's going to start at 10 a.m. But some Liberians, some citizens came here as early as 2 a.m.
Right.
Some came here, some slept here. In fact, it was very difficult for us to even pave our way into the stadium. You can't bring your car inside. If you come, then it means you can get out maybe tomorrow. So that is there.
Right.
Well, Akosia, I would like to find out generally. I get the perception of the people is that they are happy because there's a new person on the scene. But does it seem to you that the whole country, even including the young ones who haven't been on the political scene for a long time, also have the same euphoria?
Hello?
Hello, Akosia, do you get me?
Hello, yes.
Hello, can you hear me, Akosia? I know there's so much excitement out there. I'm just asking that, does this excitement trickle down to even the young ones?
Yes, the young ones are also happy. In fact, both young and old are very happy. They are all in a joyous mood because with the young, it's going to be history to them. This is the first time they are going to see such a transition. Right. And they feel it is a great transition that they are going to be part of.
Akosia, tell me what are the expectations of the new president?
Where are you going now? Hello?
Akosia, tell us what's the expectation? What are the expectations, some of them, of the new president in terms of the economy, first of all, security, and all the other issues?
Okay. In fact, they are expecting the new president to come up with policies that will deal with education. Liberians believe their educational structure here is not the best. For students, it's not the best. And they believe in President George. Looking at how he has gone through the ranks, they are believing that he can come up with a good policy that can take care of their education. In fact, currently, in fact, sorting out views from them, it looks like they don't really have qualified, trained teachers that are taking care of the high school, and they improvise with university graduates. Right. So they are taking care. They are now teaching the high school students. So apart from education, they are also looking at security. You know, Liberians have gone through 14 years civil unrest. Right. And they feel with with the new president-elect, they can be rest assured. Okay. They know their lives are safe. And it's obvious that they are tired of civil unrest. They are tired of the war. And they are happy. They are also looking at agriculture. In fact, when you come to Liberia, Liberia has vast arable land that are idle. They have water bodies that, in case they go into farming, they can irrigate those farms. They can use the water bodies to do irrigation and to feed the. Hello?
Akosia, we'll have this conversation later, but tell me finally if you have seen any of the other candidates who stood with George Oponwia in that particular election that brought him to the presidency. Have you seen any of those top shots around? Hello, Akosia.
Yes.
I'm asking if you have seen any of those top shots who stood with President Weah in that election last year. Have you seen any of them around?
The protocol of the, in fact, it's taking, like I said, it's taking us a tough time to even enter into the studio, the stadium, even though we have accreditation. It's taking us very long.
Akosia Soro, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much. And Akusia Suno is a correspondent out there in Liberia, bringing us the feeling and the mood out there. It's quite exciting.
It is. You could hear people shouting into her phone. And
yes.
I mean,
they want to be heard.
Excited.
They want to be heard.
Yeah.
I thought that happened only in Ghana. You know, in Ghana, when you go out to take shots and people come and they be waving at the camera and all of that.
Johnny, it's everywhere. Even outside in foreign countries, you see them. America, you see people behind actually attempting to be seen on camera. So I think it's just a human
But why? You know, when a minister is being interviewed, you find people standing behind a minister. They are not smiling. They are just staring woodily into the camera.
Well, they just want to make facial contact. That's the first part of the
you
communication.
need to see that.
Yes, see that I'm present. Then subsequently you ask, oh, who's that man? Then the conversation starts. Yes.
Let's do some of your messages here. A few of them before we wrap up the conversation. Okay. And if politicians don't stop lamenting around and say, speak to the facts by putting things in place, these will finish the individuals and organizations as well. Alexander Afenyomaki should stop bumbling the views and speak the truth. The government is slow about security issues. This tells me Ghana is not ready from Adam PM. Ghana is not ready for what? It's quite pathetic. Our security systems are very appalling. You say, and good morning TV3. NPP is very interesting. Things that were bad during NDC are now good for this NPP regime. As for MPP, God have mercy. Susan in Dansoman. And security of Ghana is wobbling. In fact, it's gradually becoming a state of insecurity where security officers themselves become more victims than the civilians, or victims than the civilians. I think government must do something about this before it gets out of hand. Alaji Willie P. in Efie Kuma said that one. It's been a long time since I checked out any of Tilapia's cartoons. But there's a new interface for 3news.com. Super. Where's Tilapia? I'm trying to find Tilapia. Okay, let me see if I can find Tilapia. Yes. That's 3new.com. That's our new interface. So go out there and read. You can watch live TV, listen to live radio as well from this very platform. And watch out also for the exclusive interview with Professor Joshua Alabi on this platform. Okay, so 2018 resolution. Okay, so this is 2018 resolution. No more inflating cost of website this year. And why are their faces covered? 2018 resolution, Government Web Developers Association. I think Matinabidu put the fear of God in them, right?
Most likely. They're doing it undercover. So they're covering their face so they're not found.
So when you say undercover, this is what it means.
Yes.
You cover your face. Yes. So your face is under the cover. Oh, okay.
Exactly. You got it right.
Say again.
Anyway, it's Monday, Johnny. It's time for us to leave. The Afro-Tales lovers are kicking us off their screens by now.
I want to understand when somebody says undercover. It means that your face must be under the cover.
Yeah.
So that we will not see it. Okay. So like this one. Okay, cool.
Because your face is your identity. When they see your face, they see you. That's about it. But anyway, guys, thank you again for joining us today. We'll see you same time tomorrow. It's Tuesday tomorrow. Tomorrow will be 23rd January 2018. So today is the first day of the week. Go out there and do whatever you can do and do it well.
For all those who turned up for a time of praise, thank you very much. Every single one of you are grateful. Kingdom ministers, Nieni, Angelic Voices, Nikumi, Bruce, Kosh, everybody else. If you were there, thank you very much. We'll do that again next year, hopefully. Have a great Monday. Eat wache if you can. Please, it's important.
And Tuesday if you can. Have a blessed day.
This man is a gangster. Bukum bankum boxer. Oh, sorry, I no pa.